So then, here we go again. Let's head right back into the adventure where we left off. I wonder if we will get back to normal maps or if it will all be in this style from here on. Yes. We did take the elevator down and our party did split. And I am left with the computer guy, I think. Uh, Maybe it's this collapsed area and all that stuff is still a bit tough to animate. To find the background, let's search the collapsed area. You made your way onto the storage cabinet. This is the best observation spot around the collapsed area. Ever since you stepped into the site, the oppressive atmosphere seems to weigh down upon you. Your breathing feels labored, your eyes grow dry, and the... Wasn't there... Maybe I should have used the mouse there. You force several breaths of cold air into your restless chest, compelling your screaming consciousness to plunge back into the numb calmness and surveil the surroundings. Really? Outer space worksuit. Proper. I thought I was better. Anyway. Maybe I should take it out. Take it off. If I get a penalty die. You notice how the massive fault has formed due to the devastating earthquake. The corridor area below is in complete disarray. A narrow passage is formed where there used to be the corner of the wall with rubble and debris. As the beam from your flashlight pierces into the darkness of the tunnel, you notice a shadowy figure crouching on the ground and refusing all the light. Hesitation takes hold of you as you ponder about your next move. Before the unholy shade springs upright on all four of its limbs, bearing not a trace of resemblance to any human form. It sends your mind into delirious terror. Black monster. Do we see anything on that? No. The shadow dashes at you, toppling multiple supporting slabs along its path. Is that a formless spawn, maybe? With the pillars comprised, the tunnel convulses violently, echoing with foreboding rumble and threatening to bury everything in seconds. In its second collapse. Oh. Oh. How bad can it be? Well, I had enough luck, so let's not find it out then. At this point, turning back is not an option. You roll into the tunnel with the help of your agility. You manage to avoid any harm. Yeah, very, very calming. That probably went right. Just as you start to breathe a sigh of relief, the black beast once again emerges from the shadow into your line of sight. You notice how wounds and openings of different size mar its form. Seems it wasn't invulnerable to the collapse. In the next second, the monster heaves in a rumble that befits a vengeful beast and charges right at you. Okay, I got spider friends. And technique, stealth. I can use bone splinter, very nice. I think my spider friends should carry me here. I don't feel like I need to do anything. I'm just gonna dodge. And she's bone splintering again. And so much for that. Easy fight. Check the monster. As you approach the corpse, you discover the monster's face is grotesquely swollen with thick black blood. After a moment of hesitation, you retrieve a knife from your possession before lifting the broken skin from the monster's chin with care. The sound of the moist skin separating fills the air, evoking a sense of unease and revulsion. You now see its face. The facial bones of the monster bear an uncanny resemblance to those of humans. Yeah, and Bone Splinter I can only use on humans, so it must have had a human shape. With its eye sockets, the eyes continuously leak black pus, oozing forth in a disconcerting display. The eyes of the monsters lack any trace of white, engrossing the entire eye socket in a never-ending void. Regardless of your movements, a disconcerting sensation lingers, as if those eyes are constantly fixated upon you. As you focus your gaze on them, the eyeballs detach from their sockets and roll to the ground. Ugh. Compelled by an inexplicable urge, you cautiously pick up the fallen eyeballs? What? Why would I do that? And examine them closely. Upon closer inspection, these eyeballs seem not to be composed of organic matter, as one would expect. What are they made of then? They are more likely to be stones? Black-blooded monster. Your eyes catch a trace of familiarity as you inspect the eyeballs. Marmoreal texture. The dagger. Your trembling hand reaches for your pocket and draws out the knife. A nameless terror freezes you as their identity seizes your mind. Oh, right. I didn't Assign to Maple. Equip main off. Okay, let's contact our teammates. You managed to connect a call to Berg and the rest. The team locates you on the floor plan. Judging from the floor plan, you are now inside a meeting room in the lower office section. I'd suggest you make no further moves until we arrive. Ha! Our consultant can't even wipe the ass without our help. And I shall have your malpractice hold full responsibility for it. The conversation ends with Harkin's cackle and Bert's roaring chide. Then the dialogue cuts off. The suffocating hush returns alongside the stagnant air. Nothing but eerie silence. A chill of fear crawls onto your spine as you sense a pair of praying eyes set upon you. You feel a lump of cold metal pressing at the back of your head. You don't even have to guess what it is. Do as I say. Lower your weapon until I tell you to stop. Okay, who do we have here? The metal pushes itself at your head. Drop your weapon. I'm somehow forced into this. 99. Nice. Well, I have so much luck stored up, and I'm gonna take this result. With a quick intake of breath, you turn with agile swiftness. At the same precise moment, your right thumb snacks the hammer of the pistol and your left hand darts out to grasp the gun handle firmly. In a heartbeat, the tables are turned. And I don't like someone pointing a gun at my head. In the face of this unexpected turn of events, the woman remains unfazed. There's no hint of panic or fear in her eyes as she stares back. You notice her lab coat and a name card is pinned neatly on her chest. It reads Administrator Nyla. Hi Nyla. I can see you are a quick mover. If the HQ had decided to send helpers here, the rest of the team are very likely to have arrived with you. Put that down and assemble your colleagues. You will get an explanation from me later. And so you do. It doesn't take long before your teammates come to your rescue. You return as a team to the ground. Berg inspects his members, continuing before pausing his sight on the new member. Though the two have yet to exchange a word, he seems to grasp the situation and snap into a formal salute at this administrator of the site. You must be the administrator here. Nyla Claire, correct? I'm Berg Mikhail Koslov, captain of the investigation team. We are here to uncover what happened within Grey Matter. Nice to meet you, Captain. If I may, ma'am, I'd ask you to share your knowledge of the accident down here. Fine, but be warned that the details escape me. If my memory serves me right, a guard knocked open the door of my dorm around 3 o'clock this morning with the news of grotesque monsters raiding the site. I am unable to ascertain where the monsters came from, yet they swiftly took over the storage area and the access elevators. They made it impossible to get away from the site. Okay, but what's... I mean, everything's collapsed and all that stuff, and that shooting... I survived because of the protection of our security personnel, but tragically, they've been killed. All of them? Naturally, I left my room and sheltered myself inside the ventilation pipe to the incinerator room, where fans are powered by a separate set of generators. It wasn't before the rescue team's arrival, followed by the restoration of the power supply, that I did seek to examine the meeting room. You are the first people I've met since the accident. I see. Berg looks at his feet, lost in his thoughts. He seems to be very hesitant about what he's going to say as he recasts his eyes on the female officer. Ma'am, our mission requires us to finish the data backup at the main control console in addition to the investigation. I'm sorry to say that the task doesn't allow us to escort you to the ground before we finish our job. It's only right for a Black Field member to place the site before its administrator. Besides, securing the data of our research is also where my duty lies. Follow me. I'll see you to the control console. During the conversation, O'Cule's vigilant eyes scan your surroundings, while he looks ready to throw himself between Nyla and any emerging threats, as he has been keeping close by. For an instant you take him as the administrator's private guard. Do keep your moves quiet. I can't say how many more monsters are lurking here. Another faith trigger. Under Nyla's guidance, you advance deeper into the grey matter side. Okay, I mean here... I'm a bit unhappy. Though there are multiple hard stoppings where you almost bump straight into the lurking monsters, you at long last manage to make your way to the site's core section, the control area. The gate to the control area slides open in response to Nyla's authorization. Behind the dense, stale air in the pristine glass window wall, a titanic monolith erects from the earth, inspiring both awe and fear as it points to the dark ceiling above. The whole control area seems to be built around the tower, with its giant resting silently at the core of the other side of the window wall. Eldritch blossoms thrive at the monolith's foot, decorating the meadow with what? Helene, you take some samples around here. On my way. Harkins, on the other hand, has not said anything since he stepped into the area, but loses himself to the distant monolith. It's been 5 minutes since he last talked. Harkins, get your ass moving. Yeah. Okay, I got a lot of options again. Let's do another save. I kinda wanna look back to the storage area. Let's go back there. I let's take open chests. An EMP grenade. Check the room. The first thing you notice is Harkins, who sneaked in ahead of you, meticulously pulling out each drawer of the shelf, leaving no one unchecked. Anything that seems to hold some value finds its new home in his pocket. He could be me, while those don't pile up at his feet. You see a crime or theft happening right before you. Question him, say nothing. I don't recall Berg telling us to help ourselves with the loot. It's kinda rich coming from you, who grabs everything that's not nailed to the floor. Um, Harkins remains unwavering in his focus, showing no indication of stopping or acknowledging your presence. You feel a twinge of embarrassment, realizing that he has no intention of responding. Okay. Seems like Harkins has no intent to join you. In fact, he may not be coming out of the storage room anytime soon, which means you'll have to explore this place alone. Oh, you finally joined Berg and the rest at the turn of the corridor. Where's Harkins? Don't tell me he's on his own again. No. Berg forcefully opens the walkie-talkie to bellow with anger, his voice reverberating through its speakers. Get your ass here, Harkins. If that ever happens again, I'll swear you'll rot in that godforsaken cell. Come on, bro. Just a few seconds. I'll be with you in no time. Your attention is abruptly drawn to the presence lurking behind the chest. You witness the figure gradually rising to its feet, shrouded in darkness. Okay, it's that monster, and now I got Harkins with me, it seems. Okay. Oh, it's not only one monster this time. Technique, stealth. Okay, I got Bird. He has a special shield. Okay. Subdue. Use throw. Oh. Didn't OQ go a separate way? I'm probably totally butchering that name, but Why did they have to take such a difficult name in the first place? Anyhow, let's not use adjust equipment. Got a pistol. I'm gonna equip that. I'll attack with the crowbar. And that is its occult. Dirty clothes. Dagger and a pistol. Attack. Why is he such a bad shot? Use weapon attack. Damn. I'm Why is my weapon attack so high? I'm use attack occultism and okay. The dagger uses occultism. I didn't know. So much for that guy. Engaged in a grueling struggle with the black monster, time seems to stretch as you clash relentlessly. With each exchange, the team leaves several fatal wounds upon its body. Thick blood flows profusely from its injuries, and that blood is black as ink. In the midst of the fierce battle, you catch a glimpse of Helene's face. No, even the mouse doesn't seem to want to show me more. Okay. As the injured monster is now reduced to a pitiful state, a flicker of realization crosses its eyes. It swiftly scrambles towards the nearest wall, desperately seeking an escape route. Just as the monsters bristle with fear and determination is about to leap into a collapsed hole leading to the lower floor, a bullet strikes it square in the head. The monster staggers and falls to the ground. A woman clad in pristine white of a lab coat shows up from the corner. There's a steady determined pace to her stride as she walks straight towards the monster and shoots it with her silenced pistol until it's completely motionless. Assured of the monster's mortality, the woman bolsters her pistol, her hands both moving back into the pockets of the lab coat. The walk she walks inspires both awe and fear inside of you. Make no further fuss, the creatures are sharp listeners. Okay, this is another way we can meet her. Yeah, okay, let's just go with this route then. You notice she's wearing a lab coat and the name card. Yes. Once the dust of battle has settled and an uneasy calm descends, Harkins strolls in leisurely, displaying a nonchalance that grates on Berg's nerves. He intends to give Harkins a harsh lesson, one that he wouldn't be able to shrug off or forget anytime soon. But at the sight of the administrators... He must be the administrator here. Ma'am Nyla Claire, correct? I'm Bert Mikhail Koslov. Okay. We already had that. So, now we are here. Do I want to save this? Why not? Doesn't change much. And this time I have the EMP grenade. Inventory. I kinda want to unequip this. I'm equipping this instead. Wait. Maple disappeared. How did that happen? No. No. Save. I didn't notice. God damn it. Let's go to the storage room. Open the chests. Check the room. Then equip this to the offhand to get a bit more sporty. I'll equip this to lose my penalty die. And do the saving here. Then check the collapsed area. Come on. Barely made it, good enough. Okay, that monster and I are fighting, which shouldn't be a problem since we have two friends with us. Those should handle the fighting just fine. Intimidate, stealth, dodge. Let's observe the surrounding. Just for fun and allure. Monster is confused. And has been eaten by my spider friends. Then we check the monster. We get our clues. We contact the teammates. Then we use brawl and no. Just like last time, we spent some luck. We made it to the rendezvous, and this time I will have Maple with me. Okay. Now, let's do the saving. Override, yes. Okay. It was so much stupid stuff for silly reasons. Home. Alright, I wanted to see what absurdism is Maple's trait. Plus 5 SP, plus 5 luck. Okay. So Maple 78 luck. And maxed out mind. That's pretty nice. So, what do we start with? I'm really pondering Helene. Well, let's maybe start with the middle text. Extensive laboratory base. Inside this absurdly spacious laboratory, the team splits up once again to tend to their own work. Berg keeps a vigilant eye while patrolling to and fro. Nyla rests her back on a chair with her eyes closed. O'Cule, not too far from Nyla, checks the weapon in his hands and appears to be ready for movement. Helene seems to be absorbed in the results of the device she's holding after a thorough search of the room. Harkins, on the other hand, is operating the control panel while never ceasing to mumble about something in his mouth. You also notice a high-power monocular setup just next to the window, which you assume could be used to take a close look at the distant monolith. Let's talk to Nyla. Nyla's calmness is a waveless sea, as she rests her back on a chair, as if none of the disaster here has ever happened. About the monolith. May I ask about the details of this black monolith? I don't think they're available to investigators of your rank. I've signed an NDA prior to the investigation, and your information will be safe with me. Oh sure, then everything's fine. Big companies believe that they believe what they want to believe, dear consultant. And that's the whole point of Grey Matter's establishment. Surely you don't have pickled figures in bandages stored up. What? Okay. He means mummies. You have pickled figures and bandages stored up here like those in the pyramids. That sentence really confused me. If you're seeking an answer from me out of a pure curiousness of your... Well, I'm kinda confused right now. If you're seeking an answer from me out of a pure, curious heart for science, then I can give you what you want. But I won't need to remind you that every answer comes with a price. Hopefully, you won't find yours too dear to pay. You know you're heading at the right direction when the administrators start to give you warnings, consultant. Bird's face darkens once again, like storm clouds before a downpour. Shut your mouth, Harkins. So, let's stop here, my consultant. We wouldn't want our dear administrator to be displeased now, would we? About eerie plans. I've never seen those plants before. I heard your company uses their extraction for our medicine, ma'am. It could be said so. Ma'am? Helene's voice catches you off guard as you turn your sight and find the girl standing next to you. It must have taken her a while to summon the courage to come to Nyla as she wears that jittery expression. I remember your face. Helene, right? Yes, I've read all of your papers. I'll be more than obliged if you can answer me a few questions here. I promise a private discussion between the two of us after we leave this place. You can ask everything you want to know. That's fascinating. I can't thank you enough. Oh, and I just took samples from the monster's fluid and the results shows... It's okay. Hand me the report. Nyla then raises the chair before leading Helene to a corner. The two seem to be having a deep discussion over some matter. Following the transient silence, Nyla takes her leave. Meanwhile, Helene remains clutching the data as she broods over the implications. Pondering Helene. Helene seems to be lost in her thoughts with the device in hand. Did you find anything? Your inquisition startles her. Then a sharp shift in her expression as she turns her head towards you. Regarding her composure, her head shake, denying your worries. Not at all. Nothing new here. You scrutinize Helene, who is reluctant to share with you her information. With all the clues you have with you, now is the time to let her confess. Helene, I found this record in the security room. According to the messages, a batch of unidentified personnel have left the grey matter site. They were not alone. The site also dispatched some biological samples with the people to another research lab. You said you worked for Blackfield somewhere else before. Helene, can you tell me if you've seen the black-blooded monsters before? In other research labs, perhaps? Do they have something to do with the incident here? Helene's trembling body upon hearing your question suggests she's really not prepared for the question. Her hand rests against the wall behind and she gasps for air, nearly falling to the ground. Use medicine. Nice. Should have used psychology. Helene finds consolation from your words of appeasing. Enough so that she manages to collect herself as she turns her gaze at you, a sliver of agony still lingering in her eyes. You might not believe what I'm going to say, but trust me, I'm telling you nothing but the truth. I was formerly a researcher at another Blackfield site, working side by side with my fiancée on viral infectious diseases. My fiancée served as the administrator there as well. One fateful day, we received a batch of abnormal samples, black blood drawn from test subjects. We discovered that this black blood possesses a potent inhibitory effect on all known viruses. Huh. Every one of those subjects was cured of their contracted diseases, but in turn they developed severe cognitive disorders, ultimately dying from shock. Well, kinda sounds like you inject yourself a disinfectant and just die. Not that good if the cure kills you. There wasn't a single exception. The black blood flowed from their wounds upon death. Same to that monster we met. But Haverick seemed to be fascinated by the curious blood. Her fiancé? Indulging himself in the research day and night. It was only by accident that I found him doing experiments while keeping me in the dark, and when I called the guards to break into his lab, he's gone. There was only his lab coat on the ground, soaked in that puddle of horrendous black blood. You won't understand what I've been through to pull myself back together since he left me. But 1 week after the accident, an anonymous letter arrived. I could tell the writing was none other than Haverick's, and its content was plain as it was terrifying. Destroy the black blood and leave the lab. So I ended up here as an investigator, not a researcher. I want to find out the truth about the black blood. I want to find Haverick, if he's still alive. Please, I know it sounds absurd, but trust me that everything we've seen today inside the site is the doing of that blood sample I and Haverick had worked on. That black blood. If you believe what I've just shared, please don't tell anyone about this. And if I don't believe it, I can share it with anyone and say, it's just a story. Sure. After I left my site and joined the investigation team, I discovered that many things weren't as simple as I'd initially thought. The subjects weren't volunteers at all. The Blackfield had committed numerous wrongdoings to cover up their failed experiments. Okay. Let's check on OQ. That was very productive. Glad I have this checked off my bucket list. Leave the sentry work to me. You go get the rest you need. I have to hand it to you, investigator. I only got to learn about you along our way here. I was wrong. You're a reliable teammate, and I'm glad to have you in my team. Now, rest up. We still have more waiting for us on our way back. Okay. Absorbed Harkins. Didn't your parents tell you not to disturb others' work? Don't tell me you lost them when you were young. A female's image flashes on Harkin's screen, bearing a pleasant smile on her face. She disappears before you can grasp her look. What was that? I don't know what you're blabbering about. Perhaps it's time you gave those very eyes of yours a rest. They're absolutely nothing out of sorts here. Harkin's apparently not in the mood for further conversations as he waves you goodbye, ignoring your earnestness to keep the talking going. No matter how you approach this man, he just refuses to lift his eyes from the screen. Okay, so it's pretty much only the monolith left. With the aid of your telescope positioned by the window, you find that the colossal black monolith looming outside doesn't reflect any light, even under the beaming searchlight. The surface of the monolith is not smooth, instead it's riddled with cracks. The pattern of the cracks evoke a sense of familiarity within you. If the monolith would swallow all the light, then you would not be able to see the cracks. You would not be able to see any surface, which would look really spooky. With your shaking hands, you retrieve the dagger out of your pocket. As your restless sight shifts to and fro, the result of the comparison fills your heart with despair. Though your sanity refuses to believe it, the veins of the two are those text box, they are killing me. History. Though your sanity, the veins of the two are unmistakably identical. Okay. It's not that shocking that the dagger is made out of that stone. The notification sound from Harkin's laptop rings throughout the laboratory. Before catching everyone's attention, he turns to Bird as she shuts the computer close. Done, Bird. I just finished the backup. Everyone, check your equipment. We're leaving. If you'd excuse me. Captain, I need to enter the monolith area if you allow it. I have something to tend to in the central cultivation chamber. Ma'am, you've seen what happened. I'd suggest we leave the place at once. Rest assured that all I need is a sample of the plant from the chamber. It'd be of great support to us if we're to retreat. You make your way through the layers of access control systems into the cultivation chamber. The unholy sensation inside only grows stronger as the tower looms closer and closer in your vision. Though your sanity tells you to flee, your inner desire pulls you towards the monolith every time you set your eyes upon it. Ma'am, which plant are you looking for? I can get it for you. I'd prefer to solve my problems with my own hands. At the foot of the monolith, you turn your flashlight at the crevice on the lightless walls, hoping to probe into its content. Faint glows through nearly impalpable begin to seep through the openings. Its color contrasts to the pale light of your torch. With a glance above, you find the tip of the monolith thrust into the ceiling, its top now completely invisible beyond the cement roof. Given the clean cross-sections on the rock's ground, the growth happened only recently. Okay, if we come to that conclusion, I can follow it, but sure. Hey, I'm seeing things, or is it growing? Nyla meanders inside as it's an afternoon walk in the park, paying your dismay no mind. She stops below a sample-packed storage shelf and gives O'Cule an eye, who immediately fetches a sealed jar from the top layer, before passing it to the administrator. Yes, this is the one. The whole slate of concrete rooftop slams into the vacuum next to you as she takes over the sample into her hand and sending the earth about you into quakes. But the resounding rumbles aren't the only sounds that are overwhelming. You and the team in sheer terror you all are surrounded by sinister shrieks. As you struggle to hold your balance amidst the turmoil, those black-blooded monsters entrap you from every corner of the chamber. From the ground, the ceiling, the cultivation pot, they are like your worst nightmare. Safety off, fire at will. Run for the exit. 3. Hear my orders. What? Run for the exit on 3. 1. Before Berg can finish his first count, a shrill screech strikes fear into you from above before the monster itself crashes at the team. Okay, okay. Technique, stealth. And attack. Just equipment. Main hand. Go. Okay. Do I want a spell? Do I want to create barrier? Yeah, okay, let's just do that. And attack. And use attack on the second one. Hmm. Technique. Let's dodge. And you fellas attack. Hmm. Nice. Easy win. As you grapple with how to tackle the impending crisis, a tremor from beneath the surface makes its presence felt. Reality seems to warp as the things before your eyes start to distort. The black monolith continues rising in height as the rooftop crumbles and detaches in chunks. Its body suddenly cracks open, a big slit followed by the spectral green glow that soon pervades the whole chamber. Awkwardly, you barely keep your distance from the falling rocks and the monsters. Helene's scream penetrates through the ruckus as you keep your eyes around your footing. Watch out! At once you lift your head, only to find a massive chunk about to land on you. Time seems to lose its rhythm only within this instance, and your vision begins to black out as darkness veils your eyes. The sound of seashore waves brushes at your ears before you lose consciousness. Voidness. What? Unknown island. As far as the eye can see, there are no buildings or ships in sight across the expansive sea. At the edge of the beach behind you begins a dense deep jungle that stretches out into the distance, and nestled within its depths a mountain looms. What? You unclip the walkie-talkie. Does anybody copy? Bird? Helene? Harkins? Can anyone hear me? O'Cule? A few minutes later, there's still no response. Where's everyone? It would be best to get out of here first. Now I'm on an island? What the hell? Okay, okay. Let's make a new save here and take a break from this. I still wish I would be able to explore it by hand. Character. Alright, formation. Add to team. Save it so I don't forget to do that, and then let's see each other some other time. Bye!